Sometimes, Jade, when we're on a purpose in life, and you know one of your peers, classmates, family member, it doesn't matter, a teacher, and you see them hurting, sometimes we stop and we go help them. Kind word, kind gesture, a hug, it's gonna be okay.
Commack School Community, to all the parents, teens, teachers, administration, and to all of Long Island. For 26 years, I've worked in the trenches of the hardest hit communities, stopping teen suicide, suicide contagions, preventing suicides, and even bringing hope to communities that have lost all hope. I educate our school communities on teen mental health, brokenness, school climate, and school culture. I answer the hardest questions that parents and teens want to know. I bring communities together to move forward. And I'm reaching out to you because several people in your community have reached out to me asking for help. My friends, I'm also a Long Island native, and I've been hired before to speak at Commack High School. I'm a fan of your community. By the way, my name is Jeff Yalden, and I've been working for teens, been working for schools, working for mental health professionals, parents, and teachers for a long time. I'm honored to be able to share with you a simple message. I hope my words resonate, and I hope maybe you think about sharing this with other parents, teens, and maybe our teachers. And first and foremost, I'd like to offer my most sincere condolences to the families, the friends, the school staff, and to the whole Long Island community that's been affected by the recent loss in your middle school. I also want to be sensitive and ask that you understand my intentions are pure. My friends, it's never easy to reach out like this, being sensitive and not knowing the facts or the details. My friends, I don't know, and I'm not saying the recent loss is a suicide. Again, I don't know, I'm not saying that. But regardless of what we know or what we think, it's important that we honor the family, the friends, our school community, and we move forward in the grieving process, healing and finding closure in a healthy way. And it's not easy. So to all of you, let me start off with, my friends, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry, and my thoughts and my prayers and my heart is with each and every one of you. Words can't adequately describe the pain that I feel in my heart when I hear the death of a young person. It hurts my heart every day. But I want you to know that no matter what we're going through or how much we're struggling, my friends, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But as you already know, you've got to be willing to do the work that I'm about to talk about. We're all part of fixing the brokenness in ourselves, our kids, and the world we live in. Know that our youth are hurting, as well as our staff and our teachers, and people want to know what to do. What do I say? What about the empty chair that's now in the classroom? And we have so many more questions. My friends, today's teens don't care about crisis counselors, research, statistics, suits, titles, and ties. They don't care about you bringing people in to sit in the library saying, "We're here for you." That's the last thing that they want. Our young people want two questions answered every single day. Two questions, and these two questions need to be answered by, first and foremost, their parents and the trusted, significant adults in our kids' lives. And the most trusted adult in any teen's life is that same-sex parent. I'll tell you why teens aren't reaching out to their parents. They say their parents are tired and angry, so why would they want to reach out to you? Then they're afraid to ask for help or talk to you because they think that you don't get it and that you're not validating their feelings and emotions. They think you're going to fix their problems, or at least try. They don't want them fixed. They want to be validated. They want to be supported. They don't want you to judge them. That's what they're thinking and feeling. And what they're thinking and feeling, it's normal. To them, it's normal. My friends, understand, we don't know what we don't know. Therefore, we can't do what we haven't learned. So this growing up for young people and understanding is on their terms, and today's teens are growing up differently than we did as parents ourselves. Watch my TEDx video. You'll understand. The expectations are still great, but our young people aren't growing up as fast. As a matter of fact, with the brokenness of our young people, thoughts of suicide, teen suicide, 90% of it's mental illness. Coping skills, problem-solving skills, interacting, communicating, social interacting, expectations, the pressures, the feeling of I'm alone, and the feeling I'm a burden, I'm disappointing people. And then it's a habituation to physiological pain and fearsome experiences, to repeated exposure to painful and provocative events that gives teens that desire for suicide. And that's what we need to break. Or the desire to think that maybe I'd be doing people a favor. I'll make this a little bit more understandable. Teens don't want to die, but they live in the here and the now. And they see the solution to the problem so far out there that they think that they can't solve it in the now. So the pain of I'm alone and I'm a disappointment to people carries on day after day, week after week. And then they get discouraged with never being happy. This could be as simple as a form of depression called dysthymia, but they then have that desire of suicide because of this unhappiness. And dysthymia is a very low-level depression that we just can't be happy, or we get miserable because we're miserable and we don't understand why. And so the thing is, it's okay to ask for help. Teens, it's okay to have a trusted adult. We can't help you if we don't know. That's why it's so important. Teens need relationships, and they need that trusted, significant adult that's going to be patient, that's going to give them time and understanding, love, unconditional love, and support them and validate what they feel, and that these feelings are normal. My friends, it is normal. It's okay. But then we have to give them or teach them coping skills, problem-solving skills. We need to give them balance and boundaries with today's technology, social media, YouTube, the internet. I could talk all day about this. It's in my book, Teen Suicide, The Why Behind Today's Suicide Epidemic. You can get it on Amazon. But my friends, what I want you to concern yourself is something that's called the dopamine effect, social media depression, and the effect that this has on our teen mental health today. Again, my TED Talk. Watch it. You'll understand. My friends, this is very serious. And teens, not that I want to say they're immature, but the bottom line is this prefrontal cortex, they don't have the maturity today, scientifically proven, that their frontal lobe isn't fully mature to handle the emotions that come with what the smartphones and social media platforms such as Snap, Face, Instagram, group texting, YouTube, etc. It's like, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more. And that's why it's so important that parents and our schools create boundaries with our young people in these social media platforms. I'm not saying smartphones are bad, nor am I saying social media and the internet is bad. But when not using it responsibly and for the reasons that we should be using what technology has given us, it simply harms mental health and has taken us away from the social interaction, which gives us self-esteem and problem-solving skills, coping skills, communicating skills, etc. And these are life skills that are so important to the growth of our young people. So essentially, too much use is harming one's mental well-being, adding to the brokenness of our young people. More time in social interaction, more time involved, is benefiting our mental well-being. But where does this come from? Listen, I think cell phones and social media, internet, pressures, college, grades, friends, and so much play a significant role day to day, adding up to the more and more pressure to handle for our young people. Again, let me repeat. I don't think, as a matter of fact, I know that teens don't want to die. But I do know that suicide or thoughts of suicide ends up being where they think the solution to their problems is too far out there, that the individual doesn't see a solution to solve their problems in the here and now, that they think they'll never be able to solve it. And therefore they think they'll never be able to move on. Our youth are in the here and the now. And so is everything for them. And us, as a matter of fact. Think about it. You send a text, you immediately get a response. You go to an ATM, automatically you get cash. You call mom, mom picks up. We have Snapface and Instagram where immediately you get likes. And if you don't get enough likes, you know what they do? They take the picture down because of all of a sudden they start to think that they're not as funny, cute, or their life isn't adequate when compared to the lives that they see online. But folks, let me not be the first person to tell you, life isn't a race. It's not in the here and the now. It's a journey. It's teaching our children about patience. That's what we got to do. Patience in the process of going after our goals and our dreams. But what about college, we say? What about college? Do you think that perhaps we're giving these kids a false sense of success when we tell them, go to college or go here and get this degree and boom, success? What if they're not ready, or your plan for them isn't their plan for themselves? The expectations today for young people are so great, but when they're not met, they're left to be disappointed and feeling that they're disappointing you, and they never want to disappoint you, whether it be parents, teachers, friends. They don't want to disappoint themselves either. My friends, I'm pro-education. But our children are growing up later than 15, 30 years ago. And also, the way life used to be is not the way life is today. And the expectations are still there, but their growth isn't. But here's the thing. They have access to so much that it's frightening. Years ago, 18 years old, they're ready to get their license, ready to move out, ready to go to college, maybe ready to start thinking about adulting. But today, that 18 has turned into 24, 25 years old, and that's when they're starting to mature. But the expectations of growing up, go to college, and get a job is still there, leaving them scared that they're supposed to have it figured out when you think they're supposed to have it figured out. But they don't. And we have to let them know that it's okay. While someone might have an idea and another teen doesn't have an idea, it doesn't make them less of a person, or it doesn't mean they're not going to be successful, whatever that means. Friends, this is my work. It's never easy to hear about loss, a suicide, or it's never easy just listening to young people and the pain they're having in their hearts with life. Life's circumstances, situations, challenges, the obstacles, and so much more. And I tell young people, listen, this might not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. I'll get more into that. It's like you're expected to have it all figured out. Really? You ever try talking to your kids about, or have them ask any trusted adult in your life what their plan was at 17 to 24 years old? Again, I want to be very careful in the words I use and how I say what I want to say. Please understand my intentions are pure. My heart hurts for you all. And not one person in your community isn't affected by what has happened in your community. The loss of a student in a middle school. The loss of any kind brings out the questions about protocol. How do we handle this? Our teens, our staff, parents, how do we move forward? Why? How? What's right? I mean, what's wrong? Copycats. I think here's what's important to understand. Our youth are growing up in a system that is broken in America, and America has a responsibility. But before we look to America to say, what are you doing? I think it's important that we, as parents, as educators, as young people, I'm going to put it on you too, you have a bigger responsibility. A responsibility to ask better questions. It's not why me or why this or why that. We can do that all day long. But it's how. How can I be part of the solution and not be part of the problem? It's every day asking better questions or asking to talk to someone. My friends, get to know who you are. and be comfortable with who you're not. I like what Dolly Parton says. Get to know who you are and do it with purpose. And that leads me to self-esteem. Our young people need to learn to validate themselves and not to always wait for parents and teachers and coaches to validate and tell them they're special. The most important thing in your life right now is your self-esteem. So my friends, validate yourself. And we as parents and teachers, we need to value our children and support them where they are and where they're feeling. Because what they're feeling, although you've been through it, it's real to them in the here, in the now. And again, remember what I said, we don't know what we don't know. And so we can't do anything different because we haven't learned. And so young people, I beg you, open your heart. Trust in these trusted adults that are in front of you. My friends, make good choices every day. Your attitude, your confidence, your self-esteem, and just breathe, my friends, just breathe. Know that what you're going through today is not forever. Ask for help when needed. You have trusted adults. Slow down, relax. It's going to be okay. I need you all to know you've got trusted adults. As a matter of fact, let me ask you, who is that trusted adult in your life? Answer that. It might not be your parents, I get it. Parents, you might not be their trusted adult, but maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a teacher. It's important to know that they have trusted adults and they will reach out to them. Another thing, my friends, life doesn't happen fast like you're used to. Text, an immediate response. Phone calls, someone's always there. ATM, cash comes out. Social media and likes. I know it seems it because every day it seems like that, but my friends, all of that is leading to us, me, you. We're growing up in a superficial world and it's having its our way with our young people. I think it's having our way with adults too, but adults for the most part have learned how to cope and process their pain and the issues that are in their life. But no matter what you're going through, no matter what someone says or someone does, you can't let this affect you. Balance and boundaries. I'll tell you what's important for young people. I think number one, learn to be able to turn your phone off. And three things I think is really important for our teens today. Parents, you need to enforce this every day. Sleep. Our young people need 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night. And if your kid's ugly, they need more. Now, don't get upset at me and say, hey, you called my kid ugly. I didn't call your kid ugly, but maybe your kid has an ugly attitude. Nutrition. We're so fast today that it's so much easier to go get fast food when we don't think about, the chemicals or the fat or the sugar. I'll tell you what, we are consuming over 200 grams more sugar a day than we should be consuming in a 24-hour period. You know who's best friends in life? Sugar and depression. That leads to more of the brokenness and not looking for the answer of our young people. I think the sugar and the depression leads more to the fixed mindset than it does the growth mindset. So better nutrition, more water, less soda, more protein, less carbs. Number three, get involved, my friends. Get involved in what your school, your community has to offer. Get involved with your friends. I'm getting ahead of myself. My friends, I'm sorry, but every day this hurts my heart. Listen, again, I'm going to say I don't think young people want to die as much as I see young people having a problem and not seeing a solution and being able to move on. That's the point where they might think suicide is their only option, or they start justifying that they'd be doing people a favor. Also, listen, going back to the situation in the middle school, I'm not saying it's a suicide. I don't know. I know what I'm hearing, but I want to tell you my theory on teen suicide because I wrote the book. A person feels that they are a burden to others, meaning that they don't make any notable contributions to the world, or they feel that they're a liability and they're disappointing someone, family, friends, workers, or a person just simply feels that they're alone and they don't have any meaningful relationships. And so if this pain in their heart lasts long enough, they start to have that desire to want to end their life. And then one of the questions I ask at that point is about self-harm. This is life, my friends. No, it's not easy. It's not fair. But we learn and we grow every day. That's life. And that's where self-esteem comes from. You wake up every day, brush your teeth and wash your face. Do your dance and walk out that door. And I'm going to simplify 3 things matter: your behavior, your attitude, and your choices. I promise, on the other side of battling fear and life situations is your self-esteem. And don't let anyone ever take that away from you. But you have to do the work. Wake up, dress up, get up, dress up, show up, wash your face, brush your teeth, do your dance, behavior, attitude, and choices. I can't tell you enough of how important that is. And then also, if we're broken, mental illness and depression is at 90% of all suicides or feelings or thoughts of wanting to harm yourself. That's why it's important to talk to someone to take care of the brokenness. Not self-medicating, but take care of this, and this takes care of itself. But 90% of suicides are preceded by clues that we didn't notice. That's right. Why should we notice if we're not looking for it? Listen, the individuals that are on the school's radar aren't necessarily the ones that we need to look out for. Today, it's a lot of school communities saying to me, Jeff, we didn't even know there was a problem. There were no signs, or, Jeff, this was the last person that we would have suspected. Mental illness shouldn't be labeled, and it shouldn't have a stigma that goes with it. Mental illness, or as I would say, the mentally strong are the ones that aren't afraid to ask for help. And what we can all do better is saying, I'm proud of you for asking for help. Listen, the best thing I've ever done for myself, being a man that lives with mental illness, is ask for help and continue to seek help and practice self-care every day as a priority. My friends, I practice self-care every day. As a man that lives with mental illness, I'm diagnosed with major depression, bipolar type 2, and post-traumatic stress disorder. I've come to learn that self-care is why I'm the healthiest that I've ever been. I care about you all. I'm praying for you and sending my most sincere thoughts of health, happiness, and grace, that we all come together and we all move forward together and we have a greater understanding. We don't ever want this to happen. I also want to make sure that as we go through the grieving process, we don't have young people so sad thinking about maybe wanting to end their lives. No, my friends. But having said that, I want to address, sometimes you have blame and you have pointing fingers. Nobody knows. This isn't the time, nor is it the right thing to do. We're all emotionally saddened. And in the process of grieving, we're angry, we're emotional, understandably so. My friends, the grieving process is on everybody's terms and there's no time limit. But again, let's look within ourselves and ask, how can I be more effective as a parent? How can I be more effective as a teacher, as an administrator, the counselors, even young people? How can I be a more healthy teenager? How can I improve my grades? How can I be a better friend? How can I have more healthy thoughts? What is my best efforts to help and not hurt anyone or the situation we are facing? What positive questions be the solution, not more of the problem? Something I hear all too often, the school should do something, or why aren't they doing this, or why aren't they doing that? My friends, to the whole school community, teachers and young people, no school community, no school administrator is ever given a certificate on how to handle the loss of one of our kids or one of our staff members, whether it be lost by accident, lost by suicide. And so I'll tell you something. Every loss is different. Not that that's right or wrong, but every suicide is different. Every loss is different, and it affects a whole school community entirely different. But I always tell school administrators, you got two responsibilities. You protect and take care of your students. You protect and take care of your staff and the teachers. Everyone is hurting. The best thing we can do is show our support. You might not like it. It's really not our place to like it or not like it. We all need to step back and look at the big picture objectively. How can we all be part of understanding what we're going through? How can we be part of the solution? I think we all have a responsibility. And you know something? We all need to do better. Parenting, teaching, listening, being more present, being more engaged, asking for help, loving more, judging less, forgiving others, and I think sometimes the most important person you need to forgive is yourself. So copycats, my friends, oftentimes a loss can trigger strong suicidal ideation amongst other people. And that's always the major concern that we have, and we want to cut that off quickly. My friends, if there's brokenness, ask for help. But I will tell you, in these situations, there's always a 13-day window that we have to be very careful, because more people are more at risk during this time. And so no matter what you do, everything could bring back emotions and starts the 13-day window all over again. So let's be careful, but make sure we're doing what's right. And I know people want to reach out. People are helping. But what do they know about teens and mental health? What is their message? Do they know teens? Do they know loss or suicide prevention in teens, about teens? Do they understand teen mental well-being? Do they know the signs and symptoms, how to teach it? Do they know how to ask a teenager the suicide question and what to do? My friends, just be careful. Be very careful. Your heart is in the right place, but you could be doing more harm than good. I'll tell you my best advice. Instead of saying, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You know, there's so much in the word good. Here's a better question to get young people to open up. How's your heart? How's your heart? Students, my young people, I love you guys, man. Please know that you have a great responsibility too. You see something, you say something. You know something, do something. You, my friends, are so instrumental in saving a life or giving your friends the support and the encouragement that they need. It's okay to ask for help. What you might be feeling today doesn't mean that that's your future. It gets better, my friends. Life gets better. Today is temporary. You will grow from what you're going through. Just breathe. Whether it be situations in life or the struggles, the challenges, breakups. My friends, I'll tell you, I've learned that life doesn't happen to us. Life happens for us. But everything we go through happens because everything we experience in life shapes us and conditions us. You don't realize that when you live in the here and the now, but life isn't in the here and the now. Everything teaches us. We grow through life's challenges and tough times, and my friends, we all have them. We all have a story. We all have failures and setbacks, and it's okay to fail. Life shapes us every day. That is what is so beautiful about life. It teaches us. Responsibility is simple. If we're going to have internet, cell phones, and social media platforms, then our government needs to provide the adequate care for what this brings and the harmful effects that it has on our young people's overall mental well-being. Simply put, we're giving our young people rights and privileges that they are not emotionally capable of handling, and the consequences this brings without even knowing it leads to so many things. More brokenness, mental health issues, depression, and in many cases, it's leading to the epidemic of suicide amongst our teenagers today. My friends, this is a parent's issue. And parenting today is a greater responsibility than it ever has been. It's also society's issue and how we deal with this and how we move forward. It's also a personal responsibility to be your best advocate. Parents, we need to be the best advocate for our children and their well-being, and teach our children to advocate for themselves as well. My friends, again, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not be okay and not ask someone to help you with what is wrong. You don't have to have answers to what you're going to do in life right now. You don't need to compare yourself to your friends. You don't need to think about your significance in the world or the impact that you want to make or what your legacy is going to be now. My friends, we need to teach and learn coping skills and problem-solving skills. We need to learn self-esteem and valuing who we are. Education as a whole, I think it needs to change. I think we need to focus more on social and emotional learning. Again, I'm pro-education, but I see flaws in the system. Things need to change, but change also needs to happen first in the home. And nothing changes if nothing changes. That is on us personally before we expect our government to make changes. I think we're graduating young people without them being prepared to jump into the world of uncertainty, struggles, and the unknown. But yet our expectations continue to bring great disappointment, and then our kids think they're a burden or that they're alone in this world because they haven't figured it out yet. Again, I vaguely talked about that earlier. But parents, figure out what? It's everyday lessons in tough times that teach us incredible lessons that we need to learn in life. My friends, grind through it. It will be okay. But it's okay that you ask for help in the process. Pretty simple, right? Yeah. We need to give our youth the tools to be successful in life. In the meantime, we need adequate mental health care and counseling, and more importantly, we need more people talking about mental health and therapy, and it's okay. So get comfortable being uncomfortable talking about mental health, because the more we talk about it, the greater difference that we can make in our communities. We also need more involved parents. I said this earlier, I can't say it enough. We need young people to open up and talk, to ask for help. It's not a weakness, but parents, what are you doing to create the platform that your child feels comfortable? Do they feel that you're being non-judgmental? Are you validating their thoughts and their feelings? Are you not trying to fix it? And instead of, how you doing? How's your heart? How can people help if our young people aren't asking for help? We don't know. And if we don't know, we can't help. Folks, I'm in counseling myself, yet I counsel thousands every single month. I know who I am and why I'm in counseling and taking medication. I look in the mirror. I like what I see. Hasn't always been that way, though. You feel me? Yeah. Let me tell you something. If you look in the mirror and you don't like the reflection that looks back, don't blame it on the mirror, my friends. It just means you got to spend more time there. So take responsibility. Ask better questions. Spend more time in the mirror, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And you're going to start figuring things out. Be more concerned with who you are as a person rather than how you look. Yeah. Life will change, my friends. You take care of this, not this, and this takes care of everything else. Adults, our youth ask 2 questions I spoke about earlier, and whether you are a teacher, a coach, a parent, anyone, listen, we need to answer these 2 questions every single day. Question 1, can I trust you? And question 2, do you care about me? These 2 questions are the cornerstone of every trusted relationship in life. But I think it's so important when our kids walk the halls of schools every day. And again, we all need to do a better job. Parents, education, our government, teachers, coaches, parents, But most importantly, let's put the responsibility where it belongs. That's on our young people. And we can do that when we're invested and we're that significant adult in their life. So take responsibility, be your best advocate. I can't emphasize enough, my friends, no matter what we're going through, going into the holidays, remember, it's going to be okay. As I close, I'd like to offer some suggestions as you all move forward. I'd like to invite you to open your heart today and forever, and to know that trusted adults and significant adults are always wanting to be there to help you answer life's toughest questions. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help, and remember, my friends, you matter. Don't ever think that you're alone. Don't ever feel that you're a burden or a disappointment to your family or to society. And a quick message to all of our teachers and staff members. Man, thank you. Thank you so much. You make a difference, my friends, every single day. Just remember the importance of what you do. You touch hearts and change lives. And so we have so many questions, in many cases, so few answers. But we're all responsible. And we all need to move forward together and for the young people that are in our lives. This is a sad time. A time that affects everyone. A time where we're all growing, and this will shape us. You're not a victim, my friends. You're a victor. You're not a volunteer to this pain and the circumstances of your life. It's not your fault, but you do have a responsibility, and that's your behavior, your attitude, and your choices. Choose to be better. Choose to grow. Choose trusted adults. Choose life. Choose love. Choose you. At the end of the day, this will either expose wounds or build muscles. It's your choice how you respond. Allow yourself to grieve on your terms. I'm sorry, my friends. I wish I can say more. Mental illness, suicide, the opioid epidemic. This is the greatest economic healthcare crisis of our time, and we need you. We need you all to speak up. I love you, my friends. I'm sorry for your loss. Stay beautiful. I'm thinking of you all. I'm praying for each and every one of you. Happy holidays, my friends. Again, my name is Jeff Yalden. You can check out my website, thejyf.org. And on social media, I'm at Jeff Yalden. God bless, my friends, and take care.